What is going on, YouTube people? Today, PC Spotlight Part 2. I did a Part 1 of these probably a month or two ago. In that one, we covered LeBron, Star Wars, and the WWE. Today, we are going to look at non-sport autos and my Spider-Gwen PC. So we're going to continue this series. I know a lot of people in the comments said that they really enjoyed it. I know I mentioned in that video, these types of videos do not particularly perform well. So feel free to like, comment, and juice the algo on this one if you so choose. But sometimes we do these for ourselves. I enjoy these not so much, as this is by no means me flexing or anything crazy like that. I enjoy documenting this stuff because it gives me something to look back on at a moment in time and kind of see where a particular collection was and then where it went from here visually. And it's just a good snapshot of a moment in time. I have a couple others of these that I would like to continue to do. The big one will be comic books, but I just got to figure out a great way to record that one just because of the nature of the size. And how many of them that I have, it doesn't really make it super easy to record at my desk. So I got to figure out a good way to record those upstairs where a lot of them are stored at when they're all here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. We got two quick updates to the Star Wars PC and the WWE PC. I've picked up two key cards since I recorded that video. The first one I have not showed on video yet. Pick this up. Shout out to my boy Brad Beeman. He put one of these up and I insta-grabbed it. Rosario Dawson, Sabine Wren, Natasha Lou Bordizzo. Sticker autos, unfortunately, but what are you going to do? Obviously from the recent Ahsoka TV show. I'm a huge fan of Ahsoka, and I am a huge fan of Sabine Wren and Natasha specifically. How can you not be? But when I saw they had this in the latest Topps Chrome release, I absolutely had to have it. So super excited to pick that up. And then I showed this one on my recent ComC Mail Day. This one adds into the wrestling PC with the Austin 316 from 2001. The pack pulled, hand numbered, out of 500. These just don't come up very often. And I love the fact that he had the 316 inscription on this one. So those are two updates to the existing PCs, at least bigger boy ones. Let's go ahead and we'll do non-sports first. Slide these over here. So these are all non-sports autos, which I really enjoy. Non-sport autos. It could be actors, it could be artists. We're going to see a little bit of everything here, and I consider WWE its own specific category. So these are not really in any particular order. Off the rip here, we have a Dan Dos Santos auto from Marvel Masterpieces. I got this hand signed in person at Heroes Con. Spoilers, this will not be the last time that you see a Dan Dos Santos autographed card in this video. Marvel Masterpieces, iconic set, especially his 2023 version. Just amazing artwork. I'm a huge fan of Kitty Pryde as an X-Men character, and I loved this artwork. And it was an honor to have him sign this in person. It was absolutely great to meet him. Actually, the second time I've met him. But to get this knocked out hand signed, and of course, it's Dan. He picked just a gorgeous color to sign this in for me. So super excited to add that one. Next up, we got the Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones auto. This one has taken on a whole new life because of her role in The Last of Us. This was a dual pickup card. One, because I knew once she was announced to be in The Last of Us, I knew how big that show was going to be. And two, her character in Game of Thrones is absolutely a plus. I mean, what an iconic legend in that show. And not our last of Game of Thrones autos. In fact, we're going to go on a little Game of Thrones run here. I really like the Game of Thrones dual autos. This is a PSA 10 of Jerome Flynn and Nicola Coster-Waldau. Absolutely iconic duo on the screen. They were great together in Game of Thrones, and I was really happy to get a dual auto of both of them. Love both their characters. Speaking of great duos on Game of Thrones, here we have the Peter Dinklage and the Conleth Hill as Varys and Tyrion Lannister. Great dual auto on that one. Next up, iconic. We got two of them. Jon Favreau autos. I picked this one up first. This is a sticker auto from Iron Man 2. And then this one came up, and this is the one that I really wanted. This is from Iron Man 1. It's an on-card auto. Favs, I mean, obviously iconic for swingers. I talked about this when I got both of them, but also basically the grandfather of modern Marvel and Star Wars, as he was the genius behind the Iron Man movies, which we all know what that turned into. And then he was also the brainchild behind The Mandalorian. I just think that's super special, and that's going to matter in the long run. And I think a lot of people are going to look fondly back on his work, both on screen and behind the camera. Next up, absolute icon, Patrick Stewart. I wanted a Patrick Stewart auto. I still really want a Professor X one, but I am a closet, Star Trek Next Generation guy, and just Star Trek in general. Not as big as Star Wars, but we'll talk about that. This was, believe, a case incentive. So this one was not pack pulled. If you bought so many cases, you basically got this as a promo code. But the reason why I got it is because it's a great image of a card. You get the Enterprise in the background and a great big bold auto on that one. A lot of these were ComC pickups. Next one, Khan himself, Ricardo Montalban as Khan. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan might be one of my all-time favorite movies. It's definitely on the top 10. Love Wrath of Khan, and this was a really cool on-card auto to get of him from his original series appearance. Hugh Jackman, PSA 8. Grade really doesn't matter on this, just really all about the auto. This one's not too bad. It's a little streaked and goes a little off-card. I actually picked this up from Kenny Fornos at the Chicago... No, I bought this online off of him, but we discussed it a bunch back and forth. But I picked this up like 2-3 years ago, back in basically the Marvel boom, and this card has gone considerably up, obviously, because of all the Wolverine nonsense. I would still at some point in time really like to get a Ryan Reynolds auto, but they just have a ton of heat on them right now because of all the Deadpool stuff. My only Stranger Things auto, I'm not going Dustin crazy. We have the Sadie Sink. I just think she's a really good actress, and I have a feeling she could potentially go on to do some pretty big things later in life. I actually bought this raw on eBay, and I got it in hand, and I thought it looked really clean. Sent it in, and it got the PSA 10. Probably going to cut a 10 auto as well. The auto is super clean on this. We will see what happens to her character in the upcoming Season 5. Next, we have a handful of Jim Lee autos. Unfortunately, Jim does not, I ranted about this when I got these back. He does not have super great pen selection. This one looks great. Silver ink on the Magneto, got the CGC 10. Love this artwork on Mags. I'm a huge Jim Lee guy from the comics, and I absolutely love this set. He went Sharpie on these ones, and it just doesn't look as good, but still really like the cards. Got the Wolverine hologram from 90MU. We have the Wolverine base card from 90MU and the Wolverine hologram from 92 Series 1, the Jim Lee set as well. Wish those were in different inks, but what are you going to do? Next up, Mr. McFarlane. I actually have one more McFarlane auto. I just don't remember where I put it. We have the Spider-Man Metal Venom High Series. Great auto, great ink choice, looks fantastic. And then from the 1989 Comic Images, the Hulk 340 cover. Once again, great placement on the auto from that one from McFarlane. The other one that I have is the Spider-Man version of this with him swinging. I have that signed as well. So really fun ones there. So that is my non-sport auto collection. Over here, the Gwens. I'm a huge Spider-Gwen guy. when it comes to cards and comics. I have a lot of Spider-Gwen comics as well. I've always enjoyed what if storylines. I love the what if comic book as a kid and just like that alternate universe or alternate choice stuff. And I don't know if that's why Gwen stuck with me so much or what, but for whatever reason, here we sit. And here we have another Dan Dos Santos on card auto. I got this signed at the same time. Once again, probably my favorite artwork. This one probably is my favorite piece of artwork from Masterpieces that year. Once again, he did a great job with the ink on this. That light blue matches her web color on her suit with some accent pieces on the card itself and just makes that signature really pop. Next up from Divas. I believe this is from Divas. Oh, this is from Gems. I'm sorry. We have the XO card. These are an insert set. This just never comes to market. A lot of Gwen stuff with Marvel collectors in general tuck these short print things away, and you don't see them pop up very often. I got one of these at New York Comic Con 3 years ago, and then another one came up on ComC, and I grabbed it. These usually go for between 60 and 100 bucks. That's the only other one I think I have seen come up for sale since then. Maybe I missed a couple I could have, but I just went ahead and grabbed it too. So actually I have 2 copies of this. Gwen is one of the few characters that I will buy multiple copies of her cards if the price is right. Next up for Marvel Anime, we have the Peach Momoko on-card pack pulled auto. These are numbered out of 120 with the gold ink there. Peach, iconic modern comic book artist. Here we have the Marvel Unbound rainbow foil. I've always really liked the way rainbow foils have looked. And you'll notice a lot of my Gwens are in CGC slabs because that's what I like to use for PC stuff. This is an absolute banger. This is from the Into the Spider-Verse set. This is the My Story red short print. These are ridiculously hard to pull. And what the red means is that red part there is accented in red. This got a pristine 10. I bought this raw on ComC and graded it through ComC grading. These look absolutely fantastic, and the print run on these is super low. I also have, this is the base version of the card in a mint 9.5, so you can kind of see the difference there between the two. But I just really like, they did a really good job with this Into the Spider-Verse set. And spoilers, not the last that you will see of this set as we move on. For Marvel Annual, we have one of the plexiglass die cuts. From Anime Series 2, we have a Rose Besh on-card pack pulled auto. This is numbered to 75. Great signature there. Great artist as well. This one came back in 8. I bought this raw online and graded it. From Marvel Gems, a very underrated set. This stuff does not pop up very often. I shouldn't even say underrated because a lot of this stuff sells for very expensive prices. This is just the base card. Looks absolutely great. These are numbered. This is out of 225. But really nice looking card there. Some of the variations on this can get crazy expensive. I think a Topaz out of 10 just sold for like almost $3 grand. Now we're getting into the higher end stuff. This is my red PMG from 2022 Spider-Man Metal. This is the high series version of this card. The more modern look, and then the low series is, or I'm sorry, the low series, the high series is the first print or first appearance artwork. And then here we have the pink FX. I really like the pink in this particular year because I kind of view it as a color match for her outfit. I don't have any of the turquoises. I still need turquoise both low and high for her in this. And then this is the high series version of the same pink. And I actually have 2 copies of this. This is one where I bought the one. I don't remember what I paid for it. I had it for a while. And then another one came up and it just went for a super cheap price. So I just grabbed it. So I have 2 copies of this, the 8.5 and the 9. And I like that it's in the old school SG or CGC rather blue label. On the red PMGs, I forgot because I don't have it in this pile because I just got it in and I haven't done anything with it yet. I do have the high series version of this. It's just raw still. I actually just got this. I bought this on ComC Raw for like $250 or $275. I just got it in the mail a couple of weeks ago. I'm probably gonna CGC it just to match all my other PMGs of the Spider-Man metal set, but I just gotta find a good time to send it, and I might even just wait and do it in person. I'm in no real hurry, but I do have the Red Series PMG there, and that will not be the last of the PMGs that we see. Speaking of which, here is 2017 Fleer Ultra. We have the bronze PMG. We have the patterned. These are non-numbered. The bronzes are out of 199. And then the red. Absolutely love this card. Great artwork on this. I actually have the cover art for this in a CGC 9.8 comic book holder. But great card here. I actually bought this off of Flipping Steve. Flipping Steve sold this to me at the first Culture Collision show that we all went to. But really cool there. I would love a blue at some point in time. I was actually bidding on one not too terribly long ago, maybe a month or so ago, and it just went more than what I wanted to get into it at that time. And then there is a purple as well, which is an absolute monster, which is super expensive, but I would like to get a blue. The blues have come down enough that they're almost reasonable. And then the last few here, this is a pretty big one. Platinum Portrait. One of my few ever PSA upcharges is this card. I'll set it on a little bit. Yeah, we'll get you a little background there so you can kind of see the card better. I bought this, /traded for this raw at the last Chicago National. It was a multi-step deal. I covered it in a previous videos, but ended up with this raw. I'm not a huge Platinum Portrait guy, so I never chased one, but I was able to trade into it for a pretty reasonable deal because I did some other quick flips around the same time and got it. Thought it looked clean, figured it would PSA 9, and I just wanted to get it slabbed up to protect it because these cards are paper thin. And then all of a sudden, while it's at PSA, I get the upcharge email because it got the 10. And there's not a ton of these. These are pretty short printed. And to have it in a PSA 10 is a pretty big monster. This is probably one of the more expensive Gwen cards that I own besides the PMGs. And this actually might be even more expensive than some of the PMGs. These are pretty tough. This also probably one of my favorites. Not the most expensive. This goes for maybe about $100. This is 2019 Flare. I believe this is a tier 5. I just love this artwork. This is Peach Momoko artwork. This is a short printed on the tier 5. This is another one I bought raw and submitted the PSA, and it got the PSA 10. But always really like that artwork. Also have this. They ended up coming out with a comic book with Peach art, with this art as an alternate cover that I have in a CGC 9.8 as well. So it would display nice with it. And then last but not least, two of the coolest ones I have. This is also from the Into the Spider-Verse set. These are the Haley Steinfeld autos from that set. This is the more common one with her masks and just a straight auto on it. And then this is the more rare one with the unmasked version. And then it also has the inscription at the bottom with the character name on it. Haley Steinfeld's absolutely fantastic actress. Was great in this as the voice actress, is amazing as Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye series, and she's been great in a ton of other things as well. So I've always really liked the way that she's portrayed the character. Love these two cards. They're not necessarily the most expensive. They're not super cheap. This one goes for a few $100. This one goes for maybe $300 or $400. They've come down quite a bit from the peak FOMO of the market, but just really like these ones. Like the images on them and like the autos. Once again, I'm not a big fan of sticker autos, but you got to do what you got to do. So that is the conclusion of the Gwen PC. Probably my biggest PC card-wise, honestly. I probably own more slabs of Gwen than... Well, no, Manny Ramirez. I have more Manny Ramirez slabs than anybody else, but she's probably second, and I don't think it's necessarily close. between those two. Even LeBron, I don't have because I'm pretty picky on my LeBron stuff. So that is part 2. Hopefully, this one was as enjoyable as part 1. At some point in time, we will do part 3, where we go over the comic books specifically. Basically, my X-Men collection, and then I have a lot of Spider-Gwen stuff and a lot of Spider-Man stuff, and just some odds and ends in general. But that will be a different video for a different day. We'll do that one maybe also in a few weeks or a month or whatever. So, as always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. We will catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.